I got kicked out of a former friend's bridal party because I was not able to afford the very expensive bachelorette party, which included bottle service at Tao and very expensive prefix menu at Maple and Ash. The bride never asked any of the girls our budgets, what we were able to spend during this, and she was also having a destination wedding to a very expensive destination. It wasn't until after the Airbnb was booked and paid for that we were told what all of the activities would be. Going all in for the bachelorette would have cost about what my mortgage costs. So I spoke with the bride about my discomfort with spending this much money, and essentially we came to the conclusion that I simply could not afford it. Of course, word came back to me at the bachelorette party that she was talking mad shit about me, and then she later kicked me out of the bridal party. Anyway, her wedding happened not that long ago, and the tea and the drama and the fallout between the rest of her bridesmaids, I just love being on the right side of history here.
My bridesmaid ruined my wedding. So there I was getting married. I told all my bridesmaids, hey, I'm going to have a makeup artist there the day of. You can get your hair done. You can get your makeup done, or you can do it yourself. I really don't care. I just want you to feel like the most beautiful version of yourself and whatever that means. And they're like, okay, cool, bet. They all came and said, hey, I want these many services. It ended up being 11 services. I went and told my hairdresser. My hairdresser said, okay, 11 services. I can only do 10. So therefore I'm going to hire an extra person. But can you please confirm that they're all going to be there? And by like the date, the Friday before the wedding, hey, they need to confirm. If not, they need to actually pay for the services regardless if they get them or not, because I'm actually am planning on having another person. I was like, okay, cool. Communicated all that to my bridesmaids. So the day of the wedding comes up. My friend who had requested both her hair done and her makeup done just never shows up. And they're going through all my bridesmaids doing their hair, doing their makeup. They get all the way down to me and they're like, hey, your friend's not here, but we're just going to get started with you because the first look is coming soon and you need to be ready. I'm like, okay, cool. During the middle of me getting done, my hair done and my makeup done, my friend calls me and I put it on the speakerphone because I'm not putting it up next to my ear. And she's like, oh, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm running so late. I was just waiting for my sister because, my sister does hair, my other sister does makeup. So I was just waiting for them to come over and do my hair and my makeup. But I saw on the itinerary that you sent me that actually nothing's really happening till 1 p.m. because that's when like all the bridesmaid and bridal party pictures are. So I'll show up at 1. And I was like, you're fucking kidding me right now. And I was like, hey girl, so glad that your sisters were able to do your hair and your makeup. But as we discussed earlier, you did sign up for hair and makeup here. And so that's okay that you don't want it done anymore, but you do have to pay the hairstylist because they are here and expecting that service. She literally lost it, blew up on me and was like, I can't believe that you're doing this. How dare you talk to me this way? And I'm not going to pay for something that I'm not using. I've done this to every single wedding that I've ever gone to. I've always signed up for hair. I've always signed up for makeup, but then I've never actually done it because I have a sister who does hair and who does makeup. So like, why is this a big deal? If I've never had to pay for it in the future, like in the past, like why do I have to pay for it now? This is ridiculous. I'm not coming to your wedding. Hangs up. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? My hairdresser heard this whole conversation. She grabs a White Claw and is like, hey, here, chug this White Claw. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh, I feel so much better now. Oh my gosh. So my hair's still getting done. She calls me back later. I answer it on speakerphone again. And she's like, well, you never call me back. And I was like, why would I call you back? You hung up on me. She's like, well, I still don't know if I should come or not. And I'm like, girl, you are always invited to come. Like, you are part of this wedding. You are in the bridal party. You can come. However, if you do come, like, you still have to pay for your hair and you still have to pay for your makeup because that's what the makeup artist said. And she starts yelling at me. My maid of honor, thankfully, comes up, rips the phone out of my hand, goes into another room, shuts the door. Talks to her. My makeup artist comes up to me and is like, hey, this happens all the time. Pretty frequently, like, don't worry about it, like, you don't have to pay for it. And I was like, well, that's not fair to you. So I went on and I ended up paying for my friend's services even though she never got them because I don't think that's fair. Like, I'm not gonna do that to the hairdresser. So literally at 12:59 my friend comes strolling in like, hey, I'm here, everything's wonderful, hi. And I'm like, I literally can't even talk to you. And my maid of honor's like, on it, cool. So anyway, she talks to her. I'm like, I literally can't talk to you right now. Anyways, we go, we have the ceremony, we have the reception, we go into dances. We have like the first dances for everyone. At the end of the first dances, like, everyone's called into the dance floor, we start dancing, all my friends come, we start whatever, having a great time. My friend comes up to me, she literally taps me on the shoulder, like, I need to talk to you, like, come over here, pulls me off the dance floor from that first song. And she's like, oh, we have to go because today was just such a long day and it was just such a stressful day and I just need to go home and I just need to just rest because it was just so much for my emotional being. And I was like, you're stressed. You are the one who is stressed. Like, I had to pay for your hair and your makeup that you didn't actually get. Like, I had to pay for services that you didn't even get. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, it's just been so stressful, I'm gonna leave. And she's like, don't accuse me of anything, whatever. And anyway, turns around, walks out, and guess what? That was 5.5 years ago, and I haven't seen her, and I haven't talked to her since. She's never once reached out to me, never once texted me, like, nothing. I've texted her once. Nothing. So, all that to say, choose your bridesmaids closely and carefully because you don't want a dead, flaky friend.
Hi, bride. Happy wedding day. Hi, come on in. I'm actually the only person up, so if you want to go ahead and get set up, I'm gonna try and get everybody to wake up and hopefully we can get the day started. Great, I'm only gonna need about 15 minutes, maybe 20 to get set up, so if you want to start waking everybody up, it should be a little bit of time for them to, go to the bathroom and brush their teeth, whatever they gotta do. Okay, I'll be right back. And I am all set up. Oh, hey, everybody awake, waking up? No, I'm actually like kind of freaking out. Like they don't want to get up. Everybody just keeps saying like 5 more minutes. They were up really late last night, but I told them that you were supposed to be starting at 8 a.m. and I already let them sleep in. You were supposed to get up at 7. Well, we are on a pretty strict time schedule, so do you want some help getting them up? I don't mind being the bad guy. I mean, I don't want to start the day off with like bad vibes or anything, but I tried waking up everybody at 7. They said let the alarm go off at 7:45, and so that's why I'm like waking them up now, but they're not getting up. They just keep saying 5 more minutes. I don't know what to do. They all in the same room or yeah, I got a bunch of like air mattresses and stuff I'll put in the guest bedroom, so it's pretty big in there. That's why they're all fitting in there cuz I mean, there's only like 5 of us. Okay, let's go try to wake them up. Good morning, everybody. I'm Kendra, the makeup artist for today. Just wanted to let you know that it is 8:15 and we were supposed to get started at 8. We are on a pretty tight time schedule. We need to get you guys all done by noon for photos. So if we could start getting up and have the first person in my chair in the next like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that would be super awesome. Thank you. I've already got breakfast sitting out for you guys. Oh my God, you guys, she's really gonna make us get up this early. Okay. All right, we will be out there in just a minute. Does she not realize that we were up till like 2 a.m.? No, literally, like I am so freaking exhausted. Like, first of all, who gets married at 2 o'clock? Why do we have to do photos at noon? I'm freaking tired. I am so sorry. I don't know what's taking them so long. I know that we're supposed to be already started. Do you want me to go first? I mean, if that's going to ease your anxiety, we absolutely can, but I usually like the bride to go like second to last. Oh, you're right. I should go second to last like we had said. I don't know why they're being like this. They're the ones that decided to stay up late last night. Like I felt like their mom. I was knocking on their door at like midnight asking them to shut up. I'm sorry, that's really hard. But it is 8:30 now. Do you want me to go kind of ask them one more time if they're almost ready? I'll go ask them. Girls, hey, we really need to get up and going. It's 8:30 and the hair people are going to be here in like 15 minutes and one of you is already supposed to be done with makeup by then. Okay, I'm coming. Hey, sorry. I don't want us to be late this morning. It's fine. I'm getting coffee and I will be in the chair. I will be in your makeup chair in like 2 seconds, okay? Okay, I'm not mad. We need to get started with our day. All right, I've got my coffee. I'm ready for my makeup. I don't care what you do. I just don't want to look tired. I don't want to look cakey. I don't want to look over the top. Just soft glam is fine. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. And now the hair people are here. Okay, girls, one of you are gonna have to go with the hair people and get your hair done, even though you don't have your makeup done yet. I know that we were gonna do it the other way, but that's just not what's gonna happen now. So when they get all set up, just one of you jump in the chair, okay? I don't know about anybody else, but this morning is already feeling so behind and so rushed. Well, yeah, you're feeling behind and rushed because we were supposed to start at 8 a.m. and we didn't get started till like 8:40. So we're already like a whole person time slot behind. You guys are kind of stressing me out. I mean, it's not our fault that we were up having fun. You're the one who tried to be a party pooper at like midnight and not let us have fun anymore. I'm not being a party pooper. I'm trying to make sure everybody gets sleep before my wedding day. Oh my gosh, I've been in and at like so many weddings. It all comes together. They can't start without you. So who cares if it's a little behind? I care because I'm renting this place and if I go over, I have to pay more. Then don't go over. Just cut a little time out of your photos. It's fine. I shouldn't have to cut out time for my photos because you guys want to sleep in because you decided to be up all night. You knew who we were before you asked us to be part of your bridal party. You know that we're party people. I mean, she's right. Remember your bachelorette? We were out in Nashville till like 4 a.m. Yeah, and that was fun and that was fine, but that was my bachelorette, not the night before my wedding, when you know we have an early morning. Okay, well, we're already started now, so can you like stop nagging? Can you just like get over it? We're gonna get through the morning. There's nothing that you can say now. We just gotta make it happen, I guess. I'm not nagging. I'm just trying to make sure that things get done. Like, Happiest day of my life over here, remember? I'm actually just about done with her anyways because she didn't want a super dramatic look. We're not too behind on my schedule, so I think it'll be okay. Everybody, it's gonna be all right. We'll be able to figure it out. Okay, I need to eat something, so I'm gonna let you do your thing and I'll come back when it's my turn, okay? Of course, please go eat something, get a drink, have a moment to yourself. Just enjoy the morning. Okay, and you are all set. What do you think? Yeah, looks good. I don't look tired. Thank you. Guess I gotta go get my hair done now. I'm all ready for the next. All right, Miss Bride, I'm all ready for you. Oh, good. Yeah, it's looking like everything's back on schedule, so thankfully. All right, and we are just about done. Knock, knock. Oh, Elizabeth, hi. That's the girls, this is the photographer. I thought that we were doing photos at noon. Right, we're doing like your portraits and stuff at noon, but you had said that you wanted to do some getting ready photos, so I'm here to capture that, which usually those are kind of just more mock photos, since everybody should be just about done getting ready, right? Well, I know Kendra has at least one more for makeup, and I think that I need to get my hair done, and there's one more hair person. Okay, so were we getting done at noon then? Well, originally no, but okay, so with that in mind, we're not going to be able to do very many getting ready photos. We can maybe do like a mock photo of you putting lipstick on or something, because we really need to get you in your dress because our whole everything other photos are supposed to start at noon. Oh, really? I really wanted to get some of those photos. I mean, we can try and see what we can do, but if you still have to get your hair done, I have to go do all your detail shots, like of your save the dates and your wedding dress and all that stuff. Maybe we'll have a little bit extra time, but I don't think that we're gonna have much. See, and this is why I wanted you girls up earlier. They're just some getting ready photos. It's fine that you don't have very many of them. You're gonna have a million pictures of you in your dress today. What does it matter? It's not that big of a deal. Nothing is getting ruined. It's not that it's ruined, it's just that I had ideas in my head of things that I wanted photo-wise, and now I can't get them because you guys wanted to sleep in. She is so dramatic. You need to just drop that. It's not gonna happen anymore. It's okay. The rest of your day is gonna go great. You're gonna get a couple photos of you putting on lipstick. It's gonna be fine. And like I said, I will try my absolute best to get good photos quickly. We can try to do as many as we can. Okay, well, are we almost done with makeup then, Kendra? Yes, we are actually done. How's everything look? Looks great. Thank you so much. I really love it. All right, I'm going to get in the hair chair and then you're going to go do those detailed shots. And then I really at least want to get one of me putting on my lipstick, like while looking in the mirror. Like that's a picture I always wanted because my mom did one really similar when she was getting married. I really want to do one. Yes, of course. Go do that. I'll go do these photos and we'll meet back up. And I'm ready for the last person. All right, everybody is done with their makeup. Did anybody need any last minute touch-ups before I head out? Oh, me. I was just eating a massive sandwich and I got lipstick all over my chin. Oh, yeah, of course. Let me adjust that. And how's that look? Better, thank you. All right, and we definitely got some really good shots of you there. Perfect. Thank you so much for making that happen. Like, that is just a dream photo I needed to have. But I need you girls to help me get in my dress. Yes, we need to be ready for photos in like 5 minutes, girls. Oh my gosh, see? And why were you worrying? 5 minutes ahead. Have a great wedding day.
A lot of people are really angry at me because I homewrecked a wedding. So I'm going to talk about what happened. About 2 years ago, I had a situationship with this guy, let's call him Mark, that only lasted about a month, but it was one of those situationships that even though it only lasted a month, you just can't get over it. I felt like I was going through a breakup with my long-term boyfriend, even though this man was never my boyfriend and I only knew him for a month. If you know, you know. If you've been there, you get it. So after things ended with Mark, I did all the things that I needed to do to get over him. I did no contact and I unfollowed him on all social media so that I couldn't see what he was up to and continue to hurt my own feelings. And I did eventually start to get over him, but he was always my one that got away. Like when I was doing girls' nights with my friends, I would have 2 glasses of wine and be like, I miss Mark. I wonder what he's up to. But I didn't know what he was up to because he was private on social media, so I couldn't even go and check his accounts if I wanted to. Then about 3 months ago, out of the blue, I get a text message from Mark after not speaking to him for like 2 years. And he says, hey, was thinking about you and was wondering if you wanted to get a drink and catch up. And in my little delusional head, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, He's been thinking about me. I think about him sometimes. Like, it's meant to be. This time it's gonna work. We're gonna fall in love. We're gonna have a family. We're gonna have children. Everything's amazing. So we meet up the next night for drinks, and immediately it's just like when we met for the first time. There was just instant chemistry, instant sparks. And I was like, yeah, this is my husband. This time we are gonna work out. I have faith in it. Trust the process. And after that, Mark and I started seeing each other and entered a little situationship again, just like we were in 2 years ago. So I decided that it's time for me to go back and follow him on social media. But I noticed that after a few days passed, he had not accepted my follow request. And when I bring it up to him, he's like, oh, I stopped using social media. I didn't delete my accounts, but I deleted the apps from my phone. And this did not send any red flags to me because I remembered 2 years ago he wasn't even that active on social media anyway, so this made sense to me. But as we continued to see each other, something in my gut was just screaming at me that something was off. He was way more shady with his phone than normal. Sometimes I would catch him in weird little white lies. And so one day I decided I'm just gonna check his Instagram page again, and I noticed that it shows he had one more post than he had last time I checked. So obviously he was lying to me about having deleted all of his social media apps. And to be real, there's only one reason why a man would lie to me about not using social media and not wanting me to follow him or be on his account. And that's because he has a girlfriend and he's cheating on her with me. That's the only reason I could think of. So I immediately start searching this man on the internet, seeing what I can find. And what I found shocked me because he didn't have a girlfriend. He had a full fiance, and I found their wedding page, like their little page dedicated to their wedding that had the date, the place, everything, and their wedding was next month. So I know that I need to reach out to the fiance and let her know that her man is cheating on her, but I decided that instead of reaching out directly to the fiance, I'm gonna reach out to the maid of honor because the entire wedding party was listed on the website. So I easily found who the maid of honor was and found her on social media and decided to send her a message. I think some people would say that that was the wrong decision and I should have reached out directly to the fiance immediately, but I don't know this girl. I don't know how she best receives this kind of horrible information. So I decided that asking her best friend would probably be a better move. And if the best friend told me you should reach out to her directly and tell her, that's what I would have done. But I wanted to give the best friend the option to be the one to tell her because maybe that would be better for her. I didn't know. I didn't know what to do in the moment. That's the decision I made. She responded immediately, freaking out and asked to get on a call. So we FaceTimed and I told her all the information I had. At this point, Mark and I had only been talking again for about a month, but yeah, he was definitely cheating because we were fully in another situationship. A day later, I get a message from the fiance asking if I can give her a call, and I'm expecting her to be really upset on this call, crying, asking me questions, but that is not what I got. She was really angry, really mad at me. I get on the call and she's yelling at me about how I homewrecked her relationship, I ruined the wedding, that I now need to help compensate for all of the cancellations for the wedding to happen. I was so confused. I was like, wait, I'm sorry. You want me to pay like your cancellation fees for your wedding? So I'm trying to calm her down. I'm like, listen, I'm so sorry this happened. And I'm genuinely so sorry for the part I played, but none of it was intentional. I had no idea that he was seeing anyone else. He had told me when we saw each other on that first date a month ago that he had been single since we'd been together. He said that after our situationship ended, he had never seriously dated anyone else. So I truly thought he was single. I told her that the minute I even got a little inkling that something was up, I looked it up, found out that he had a fiance, and then immediately conveyed that information. So I don't know what else she wants me to do. But now her family and multiple other members of her bridal party are reaching out to me, telling me that this is all my fault and that I need to help compensate her for portions of the canceled wedding. I obviously feel horrible for Mark's now ex-fiance, but I was also really hurt by this situation. I had known Mark for over 2 years and it was somebody that I really cared about, and he lied to me and he put me in a horrible situation where I was now the other woman and his now ex is super hurt and I feel horrible about that. But other than letting her know that Mark was cheating, I don't think I have any other obligations in this situation. But let me know what you think and what you think I should do. And let me know if you want to know what happens next, because I'm sure there'll be updates.
If you go to a wedding by yourself, please be careful, because nobody prepared me for what I had to go through. So it's Saturday. The wedding is literally at 4:30. So I pull up to the hotel, right? The bride and groom assigned this hotel for like everybody to stay at. And as soon as I get in there, I see somebody I know, right? It's the bride's brother. And I knew him back in the day, whatever. We're around the same age. So I'm talking to him, right? And I'm like, yo, this is a really nice hotel. He's like, yeah, it's super nice. Like, it was a great price. I'm thinking, if you think $500 a night is a great price, you are wicked, right? I don't say that, I'm just thinking it. So we're just chatting it up. He tells me that he just lost his job, right? Him and his girlfriend just broke up, right? And they were sharing an apartment together. So now he has to pay rent himself and like he's broke. And I'm thinking, if you think $500 is a good price for you also going through the mud right now, that's crazy, right? So we're just chatting, whatever. I go up to my room, I change, and before you know it, it's time for the ceremony. And what I see at this ceremony, I thought I was on pranks, right? I thought I was on ridiculousness. So I'm at the wedding. I know nobody too, right? I thought I knew more people because like I went to high school with her. No, right? I'm probably the only person from the high school besides her husband. So, and her brother. So I'm there, I'm sitting there, and everything is gorgeous. Everything looks so cute, right? She walks down the aisle in a beautiful dress, and her vows, I'm telling you, I don't usually cry at the women's vows. I don't know why. The men is what gets me, because when I see them cry. But no, she had me crying with her vows. They were really hitting. But what absolutely blew me is his. So she said a long thing. I'm telling you, her vows were probably a good minute. Okay, it lasted a good minute. Get to him. He says, yeah, we can definitely ride this one out. Like, I love you. Hello? The audience was quiet for a second. We didn't know if that was like the start to his vow. But no, he just stopped. So everybody started clapping. Some people on his side of the family started laughing. I'm thinking, is this supposed to be funny? That was mistake number one of the day, right? So after that, I'm feeling weird, right? We go into the wedding, and it's just like weird vibes, right? Whole time the husband is not near the wife, right? This is now your wife. He's running around with his guy friends. I see them taking shots up at the bar, drinking. I'm confused. And honestly, it just keeps getting worse. So I'm sitting at my table, right? And I see the bride and groom, like they're about to come to each table. But why are they not doing it together? Right? I can see him. He wanders off somewhere else. She's like, where are you going? Whatever, right? She comes to my table. I hug her. She's like, oh my gosh, Lala, thank you so much for coming. I'm like, yes, of course. You look beautiful. Thanks for the invite. Whatever. So she's going to other tables. 45 seconds later, he finally gets to my table. And this man, I just can't. So he hugs me and he's like, oh, nice to see you. How are you? I said, good. How are you? Like, this is so gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, it's been a long time, Jess. Jess? I said, it's Lala. He said, oh, Lala, yeah. How do we know you again? I said, high school? He's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Angie just invites anybody. Hello? Wasn't expecting that. Right, so then he goes to the other tables, and again, they're not together. The whole time, they're not together. And he literally didn't even go to the last, like, 4 tables. Right, when it got to her family, he was, like, I don't know, it was crazy. So, I'm noticing these things. I'm thinking, is anybody else noticing this? Right, so I'm on the dance floor. I'm dancing, and I start talking to her brother again. And I'm talking to her brother, and I'm like, so, what do you think so far? And he's like, bruh. I'm not gonna lie, like, I've never liked him as a boyfriend for my sister, so, like, being here is crazy. I said, okay. I can see that. Honestly, I liked him as a boyfriend for her, but this is looking a little different. He's like, yeah, I couldn't believe that he said that for his vows. I'm like, bro, same. Finally, somebody's thinking the same as me, because I feel like everyone's just, like, nonchalant. Not nonchalant, but, like, doesn't think it's that crazy. So I'm talking with her brother a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, I kind of hang out. I go to the dessert table. And I'm kind of eating and, like, watching and looking around. And I see her brother talking to some girl a lot, right? He's talking to some girl. I see them on the dance floor dancing. I'm thinking, oh, does he have a girlfriend? Whatever, right? But then I see her dancing with the husband. So I'm thinking, are they in relation? Like, are they related or something? Like, I'm confused. Or how does he know? Why would they must be close to be dancing at the wedding, right? Then a little bit later, right, I'm people watching. I see the same girl that I think is her brother's girlfriend go up to the husband's parents, right? The dad gives her a kiss on the cheek. I'm thinking this has to be their daughter, right? So I go up to the bride and I go up to Angie and I point at her. I'm like, is that your new sister-in-law? She's like, yeah, she's so sweet. Have you met her? I'm like, oh no, like I was just wondering, like I saw her, blah blah blah. She's like, yeah, she's so sweet, love her. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm sitting at the table, right? I'm kind of watching. I'm thinking I'm probably only gonna be here for the next 2 hours, right? Not even. Like I'm getting pretty tired. It's getting late. I'm by myself. I might just go back to the hotel and go to sleep. But as I'm sitting there, I notice, right, her brother and the sister-in-law, right? They're dancing a little bit, right? It's casual. But then I see like they go off into the corner a little bit where no one's really paying attention but me. Right? I see them hee ha ha, right? He's putting a little dessert in her mouth. Thinking, okay, y'all getting a little friendly. A little too friendly, right? Like, does anybody else know what's going on? Like, y'all are related now. So I'm just sitting here watching that, right? Then they go kind of whatever. I don't even know where they are. And all of a sudden, I get a tap on my shoulder. I turn around, and it's her brother again. I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, oh, nothing. Have you seen Margaret? I'm like, Margaret? He's like, yeah. You know, the girl that's the sister to blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, no, I haven't seen her. He's like, oh, okay. Like, remember when I was telling you, like, I don't have a job right now? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, well, she was talking to me about, like, her parents. Like, they might hire me on to something. So, like, I low-key would do that. I'm like, yeah, that's fire. He's like, yeah, thank God I didn't pay what you paid for that hotel. Like, I saved so much money. Like, I probably wouldn't have been able to come if it was $500. We had to stay last night, too. I was like, yeah, that would have been $1,000. I'm like, bro, how did you do that then? Like, how did you guys get that price? Is it like a discount for the wedding party or like what? He's like, no, like, I just booked through Hopper. I'm like, Hopper? He's like, yeah. Tapping his pants for his phone. He's like, look. He goes on his phone, clicks this orange app, shows me, like, flight prices, right? Shows me hotel prices, all this. I pull up my phone, pull up the same thing, or pull up Google. Why is it so much cheaper on this Hopper app? I'm like, bro, you should have sent this in a group chat so we could all book through here. He's like, yeah, no, like, anytime I travel, like, even if I have money, I only use Hopper because it's saving you so much money. I'm like, oh, thank you for that. At least I got something good out of this wedding because everything else has been a little odd. But it only got worse. So I'm sitting there, right? And he goes away. I see him and Margaret, the sister-in-law, and them dancing again on the dance floor, right? I'm packing up. I'm about to leave. And I go find the bride. I give her a hug, tell her it was amazing. I go find the husband, but he is off with his friends again. So I'm starting to walk out, and I see her brother and Margaret, the sister-in-law, kind of behind the DJ booth. So as I'm walking out, I'm trying to see if the brother can see me so I can at least wave goodbye to them. And he's not really looking. I'm thinking I'm just going to leave. But then I feel the bride's hand on my shoulder. She's like, girl, you're staying at the hotel, right? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, are you? She's like, yeah, we'll probably be there sometime later. But, like, maybe we could all meet in the lobby and, like, play games or something after. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of energy. And Dan, her husband, is kind of doing his own thing. I'm like, oh, it's a crazy way to spend the night of your wedding. But, yeah, like, if I'm up when you guys are back, like, I was telling her I'm really tired from traveling, blah, blah. She's like, no, I get it. Like, just, like, I'll text you when we get back. I'm like, okay, cool. Then she points, she's like, oh my gosh, like, my brother, so I don't know what he's doing. He's all over the place tonight. And as she's saying that, all of a sudden, we both, me and the bride, see her brother grab her sister-in-law and on the face, kiss her on the mouth. I said, yeah, honestly, it's my time to go.
Story time of how the seamstress who worked on my $10,000 wedding dress ghosted me for a week, ripped my dress, and got her blood on it. I purchased my amazing, beautiful dress from Frankie Jane in Orem. I purchased the dress part, and it has like little sleeves. Gatlin's not allowed to watch this, so I'm going to kind of explain it. But I'm not going to get pictures, but I'm going to explain it. So it has like little like sleeves, but then I'm getting like sleeves made for it, if that makes sense. Anyways, so Frankie Jane told me of the lady who specifically makes these sleeves. She's in Ogden, but she specifically makes these sleeves. So I made the trek with my mom. This lady was actually the worst, I'm not gonna lie. From the get-go, we're like, frick, we have to work with this woman. I wanted to just turn around and walk out, but she makes the sleeves specifically that I need, so couldn't really do that. She made the weirdest comments to my mom about being single, about not having a husband, about being alone, like so inappropriate, and talked about pretty much herself and her daughters the whole time because me and my mom were like not wanting to talk to her. Long story short, I ended up having a panic attack during the first appointment. My blood pressure was 150. My Oura ring said it was 150. And my blood sugar was so low. Could have been a mixture of things, but she just was making us so uncomfortable that I honestly just think that the mixture of my dress being so important to me and this woman being so terrible to me was just making me so anxious. And also my dress was pretty tight, which is really weird because when I picked it up, it wasn't tight. But I think just because I was at Disneyland, because I was anxious, because it was the end of the day and I hadn't pooped yet, you know, the whole combination, it ended in me having a panic attack. So I ended up having to reschedule my appointment to finish getting measurements. I ended up driving back up with Gatlin this time because I didn't think I needed my mom if I was just getting quick little measurements. Should have taken her with me. Biggest mistake ever. The lady was even worse to me, if I'm being honest. Like, the second I walked in, she's like, don't pass out on me. And I was like, okay, not gonna try, but rude, kind of weird. I just wish you guys could, like, talk to her. I wish I would have videoed her. Like, she's just such a character. But anyways, I put on my dress. She brings out these sleeves. They're not even close. Not even close. Not even the same fabric. Not even the same look. Not even the same length. Like, nothing like my sleeves I showed her. And so I'm like, where did things get mistrued? I have no idea. But she was like, that's what you told me you wanted. This is what you told me you wanted. And I was like, so sorry if I miscommunicated, but that is not what I wanted. I was trying to be so nice. But she just was like biting my head off. So I was like, okay, I'll just explain again then what I want, because that's not what I want. We put on my dress. She goes to zip it up. She breaks my zipper. She like zips it up so fast it goes off the track. So now my zipper is broken on the back of my dress. She goes, oh, I'm gonna have to cut you out of it. Cut me out of my dress. Cut in wedding dress in same sentence. Okay. Whew. That was like the first moment I was like, okay, here comes another panic attack. Okay, cool. And then she's like, okay, well, let's just try on your sleeves to get measurements. Perfect. Try on the sleeve. She's pinning. She pins herself, I guess, at some point, because I look over. There's blood on my dress. Not my blood, her blood. Her blood on my wedding dress. Zipper broke. Perfect. She comes back in with a rag. She's like aggressively rubbing blood on my dress. I'm like lightheaded, seeing stars again. But now I'm like, she has to fix my dress, so now we need to finish this appointment. She is like, okay, well, let's just finish getting measurements. I can fix this, no worries. Like, don't say no worries. This is all worries. I had my arm up like this, trying to like see how I wanted my sleeves to hang. She pushes my arm down, and that's when I snapped. That's when I was like, girl, you need to be nice to me. Like, I've done nothing wrong. My dress is like in shambles, and I'm still being nice to you. You need to be nice to me. Like, I'm sorry if you're stressed, but like, imagine how I feel right now. This is my wedding dress. She like apologized and was like, sorry, like, I understand your dress is ripped and you have blood on it, but I'm gonna fix it, no worries. Again, saying no worries. Like, stop trying to diminish the fact that I'm stressed right now. Anyways, at the end of the appointment, I ended up just telling her, look, I need my dress done by Wednesday. This was on a Saturday. By Wednesday, can you get that done? Because I am leaving out of town. I'm going to Canada for a week. I need to have peace of mind here. My dress is in shambles. I'm feeling extremely stressed. Oh, yes, honey, I can get that done. I'll have your sleeves exactly the way you want. Blah, 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 blah. 100% Wednesday. Perfect. Come back up on Wednesday. She texted me on Wednesday, your dress is not ready. Your dress, you're going to need to pick it up when you get back. No details, no reassurance, no nothing. Perfect. I text her back immediately. I'm like, hey, can you send me pictures of what you have done, the blood being out? Are the sleeves in the direction I want? I need peace of mind on my vacation. And can we schedule a time right now so I know when I'm going to be coming and pick up my dress? She literally ghosts me and does not respond. That was on Wednesday. Now, my mom, being a sweet angel, she's like, you know what? It's going to be fine. Just don't text her. If she hasn't responded by like Tuesday, we'll text her again. She doesn't respond. So on Tuesday, I question mark the message. Nothing. I take the question mark off of it later in the day and put it back on. Nothing. I take the question mark off of it, put it back on. Finally, she responds. She says, see you at this day, this time. No, sorry, I haven't responded. No, here's pictures of your dress. No reassurance, no nothing. I literally felt so sick on my trip, and I was breaking out so bad, so anxious about my dress. Just so uncalled for, so unnecessary. I go to pick up my dress, literally like straight from the airport to her house. I pick up my dress. It looks fine. The blood is out. The zipper is like some shitty ass quality zipper that she put on. But you know what? At least it zips up and no one's going to see it. I'm choosing my battles. The sleeves look great. The sleeves look like what I originally had asked. Why she couldn't do it the first time? No idea. She charged me full price. Full price. I didn't even get an apology from her. I literally put on my dress. She was asking me how my trip was. I have this all on audio recording too. I might add that to this. But she goes, how was your vacation? And I go, it was great. It wasn't great that you didn't respond for a week though. I was pretty stressed the whole trip. She like pauses, doesn't answer. Sorry, I've just been really busy. I literally am like, okay, but you can't respond to me? You had my wedding dress. My $10,000 wedding dress that you ripped and you got blood on and you couldn't respond to me. She just doesn't say anything. Literally does not say a word. Does not say sorry. Does not nothing. And then she's like trying to like compliment my body the rest of the trip, being like, you're gonna look so beautiful. You're so stunning. This and this. I'm like, we're not friends. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. And I'm like giving her one word responses. I'm not being very nice at this point, but I'm like, you are a rude person. And what you did was so shitty. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. Like, I honestly just paid her because I was like, I need to get out of this house. I have my wedding dress. I need to be done with her. I was so done with her. And the fact that she wouldn't even say anything to me, I was like, we're done. But anyways, should I have paid her? No. Did she freaking put a shitty ass zipper on my $10,000 dress that was made in a boudoir in Italy and she puts a shitty ass zipper on it? Yes. So I should get my money back 100%, but that's probably not going to happen. But I will be contacting Frankie Jane. I will be asking them to take her off of their list because she is the most unprofessional person and so rude. Nobody should work with her. Nobody. Do your research. Don't just take a name from the place that you get your dress because that was the crappiest, craziest experience of my life. And I'm just grateful that my wedding dress is in my hands. But a week of being ghosted by your seamstress is uncalled for after they rip your dress, get blood on it, and treat you like you're a 5-year-old. So, anyways, that's my story. Craziest thing ever. Glad it's over with. Maybe after the wedding I'll have some retaliation, but for right now I'm choosing to just post this video and choose peace, I guess.
I figured I would take you through my wedding mood board so that you could tell me if you think that I was ever unclear through any part of my design and inspo. Okay, so the very first page was truly just about the vibe. Some of this is specific inspo that I had in there, but just the vibe, the style, things of that nature. The second page was my color palette, which now that I'm looking at this, it didn't fully come to life the way that I thought it would. I was really specific on the type of burgundy that I wanted, and I still feel like I really only got a deep red in terms of florals. Moving on to ceremony florals. I'm not kidding you. This was the only page, the only pictures that I had for inspo. But to me, I just feel like there was really no room for an abstract interpretation of what I wanted. Next was ceremony decor. I do want to say that I did put the majority of this mood board together before we ever reached out to vendors for specific rentals. And then obviously once we reached out to them, I did edit the wedding mood board to match what they had. I will say that there was not a single white garden chair in all of Cabo. What I ended up finding actually really fit my vision as best as it could, but I really wanted these, like, I don't know, just whimsical garden chairs for the ceremony. I ended up liking our chairs, so it was fine, but yeah. Also, I'm gonna attach a little picture here, but I really wanted this heart-shaped sign to be hung on our parasol baskets and for it to say forever and ever and ever on it in like a handwriting type of font. And on the inspo picture, you can see that it is truly, I think, just like a bigger cardstock paper that they made into the shape of a heart. I didn't realize they ended up charging me $75 for this specific sign. I have the sign here now. Hold on. To me, it was so clear that it was just like this piece of cardstock paper. To them, they made me this like full wooden sign. I don't know. I didn't need to spend $75 on that. I probably should have just made it myself and brought it down to Cabo, but there was so much that I was bringing to Cabo that I didn't want to add more to my plate. Sweetheart table ended up not looking at all the way that I wanted it to. I was so specific, wildly, insanely specific on that I wanted every single one of the reception tables to have ruched ivory linens, and they ruched every single one of the other tables except for our table. Also, I was initially told that our venue allowed open flame, and the candelabra that I had rented and, you know, was kind of dreaming about, at the very last second I was told that they had to be LED candles, which I was like, whatever. Like, sometimes LEDs don't look that terrible, but I'm gonna show you a picture of the candelabra because I should have just fixed the candles myself. I don't know though, like in that moment, I don't know how to explain the phenomenon, I guess, that I was experiencing. I just like didn't care. I didn't care about anything. Like, I was just like, I don't have to tell anybody anything. I don't want to have to fix anything. So I just let things be. I almost wish I wouldn't have done that. I almost wish I would have just like fixed the candles myself, because they looked ridiculous. This was my cocktail hour decor slide. I genuinely have no idea what our cocktail hour looked like. At that point, Christian was sick and I was really just focused on how he was feeling. We were announced into our cocktail hour. Our sax player played like one of my favorite songs, and my friends and I were just kind of like dancing around. So I actually have no idea what our cocktail hour really ended up looking like. I told you guys this in a previous video, but my photo op moment was not hung in place where I thought it was going to be. I initially wanted my decor table and my photo op moment to kind of just be like side by side next to each other, and that didn't end up happening. This was for my decor table, and so I actually ended up really liking my decor table. I'll probably put in a few pictures of it so you guys can see it. It was cute, it was nice. I feel like where it was placed ended up not looking the way that I envisioned it to look because the photo op moment wasn't next to it, but whatever. So I had run out of time in my last video to talk about the other things that went wrong, one of those being my reception tables. I did already tell you guys that I thrifted all of my silver decor that I was bringing down. My reception tables I also talked extensively about because it was something that I was so clear on. I wanted my reception tables to be very Kindle heavy, which they were, which was great. And I wanted my florals to be single stem florals, between 3 and 6 of them, placed in silver cups. I'm gonna attach a few inspo pictures here. And I wanted fruits and veggies to kind of be spilling out of the cups. I absolutely did not want heavy floral centerpieces. I wanted to be very minimalistic in a sense because I wanted the candles to kind of speak for themselves, and I wanted the single stem florals. Mind you, I wanted single stem orchids, okay, to be placed in those silver cups. My florist ended up doing 3 different types of florals on each table. For what reason, I quite literally have no idea. And then the cups that they were placed in were these silver metallic sprayed painted cups that just like did not fit the vibe at all. And you could like see what the florals were placed into. I forget what it's called. It's a frog base or something. I don't know what it is, but essentially it's where like needles are sticking up and you can just like place single stems on and they just stand straight up. Mind you, this whole time, all of my vendors knew that I was bringing in this antique silver decor. And so when I was trying to figure out essentially what rentals we needed to place the florals in, my florist had told me that she had what I was looking for. Also, it was so insanely clear that I didn't want to be able to see the florals, the very bottom of them sticking into those like frog needles or whatever they're called. Didn't want to be able to see that, which is why I wanted the fruits and veggies to kind of be spilling out of it. I'm going to show you the travesty of what that was because I have never been more disappointed. Well, actually, my field of flowers was the most devastating, disappointing part of my wedding for sure. But this was like the next thing for me. The barn. Okay, so the barn is why we chose this venue. I absolutely fell in head over heels in love with this brick barn. Oftentimes when I see weddings at Flora Farms, I feel like the barn isn't utilized the way that it should be, and I feel like it's such a stunning part of the venue that you should try to as much as you can. So I decided to do a circular bar underneath the chandelier, and I wanted to do a floral installment on the chandelier of all hydrangeas and roses, burgundy, sage, lush, and ivory. And I'll show you what went on up there. And just for further clarification, I did attach pictures of all of the silver decor that I was bringing so people knew the vibe of what I was going for. Really take anything from this, just learn from my mistakes.
Okay, so now that I've posted the final part of the epilogue for the Lizzie and Max story, I'm going to do what I normally do and read the actual submission. And in case you missed it, I originally read this on my podcast, Here Comes the Drama. It's episode 12, so if you want to hear my real first reaction to reading it, go ahead and go back to that first. I'm going to read it fully here, and then at the very end, either in this actual video or in another video, I'll answer like main questions I was seeing in the comments. All right. Let's get into it. Phew, this may be petty, but this story needs to be told. My sister-in-law, let's call her Lizzie, was a narcissistic nightmare of a bride, and she and my brother don't speak to my family anymore because of their insane wedding drama. Not exaggerating, they have now not spoken to me in over 2 years and claim to have cut me out of their lives fully and forever with no explanation. I'm sure you'll think I'm the crazy one because of that, but hear me out. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. My sister Cassie is in the middle. My brother Max is the youngest. My brother Max and his now wife Lizzie started dating in college. They're young, in their mid-20s at this point, and started talking about getting married in 2020 and planning their wedding before they got engaged, which I thought was a bit weird, but whatever. No harm, no foul. Until my sister Cassie fell in love with her now husband Alex that same year, 2020. My sister Cassie and her man Alex are in their mid-30s, so they're older and ready to start their lives together, buy a house, and start a family. They get engaged in the spring of 2021 and tell our whole family they're planning to get married in a year, March 2022. Yay! We are so excited for them. Or so I thought. The next thing I know, I get a call from my younger brother Max, who is not engaged to Lizzie at this point. They're still just dating, but he's upset. Tells me Lizzie, who has been inconsolable, crying, and depressed for 3 days because my sister got engaged first and took their wedding year. Yes, reader, took their wedding year. I'm like, hang on, Max. What do you mean took your wedding year? You're not even engaged yet. He says, well, we want to be married in 2022, and now Cassie's going to steal our thunder because she is getting married before us. I'm like, but you're not even engaged yet, Max. You haven't proposed. You can't expect our sister, who is older than you, to put her life on hold because you guys called the wedding year 2022. It's not like calling shotgun. He's super hurt by me saying this and says it's super important that you understand our hurt over this. I'll be honest, I did not mince words, and maybe that was a mistake, but I said, I love you, but this is crazy. You're an adult. Please be happy for our sister and stop making this about you. When you and Lizzie get engaged and married, we'll be just as happy and excited for you. For the next 4 months, my brother Max and his still girlfriend Lizzie proceed to have lengthy talks with my parents about how hurt they are by my sister's engagement and wedding planning. They say they don't feel cared for or validated in their pain. Cue gagging noises. My brother Max finally proposes to Lizzie in the fall of 2021, and they start planning their wedding for September 2022, 6 months after my sister's will take place. For a while, everything is copacetic, but then Lizzie starts sending us lengthy wedding emails that are insane. She starts off with me and my sister as bridesmaids, but pretty quickly demotes us to special guests. That might be the kindest thing she's ever done for me. She wants us to attend a bachelorette weekend, a wedding shower, an engagement party weekend, and the wedding. All separate weekends and flyouts. I'm like, girl, I love you, but I don't have the money to fly out to 4 separate events. I can come to 2 of these. Plus, my sister is getting married too, so I've got her bachelorette and wedding, remember? Yikes, shouldn't have mentioned that. We immediately start getting lectured. Lizzie tells us, "We told everyone that your sister's wedding would steal our thunder, and look, see, we can't have our wedding we want because of your sister's wedding." Lizzie and Max continue to rag on us about this, including the week of my sister's wedding, with long, ridiculous emails about how they feel abandoned by the family because not everyone can attend every single one of their expensive destination events. I wish I was joking, and I wish I could copy verbatim the email they sent to my immediate family 5 days before my sister got married about their hurt feelings. They even requested that my sister not speak about her wedding at any of their wedding events. I feel the need to insert here that my sister Cassie is very down to earth, unfussy, lovely, and intelligent college professor. She's not a diva. She never makes herself the center of attention, so the fact that they felt upstaged by her was truly a masterclass in insecurity. Anyway, my sister Cassie and her lovely husband Alex have a beautiful, heartfelt, budget-friendly wedding in March of 2022. Family and friends attend. Our Midwest cousins who all have kids are able to attend because the wedding is driving distance for them, and my sister thoughtfully planned it over the kids' school spring break. My brother Max and Lizzie sleep late and miss their first flight, so they don't even make it in time for the rehearsal dinner. Something I now wonder about is, did they really sleep in through their alarms, or was this just a stunt to pull focus? Whatever. After the wedding, my sister and Alex go on their honeymoon to Europe. While in Europe, on their honeymoon, Lizzie and Max start texting their complaints and grievances about who is not attending their pre-wedding events to the family group chat again. I text them privately and say, "Hey, it'd be cool if you let our sister enjoy her honeymoon for a minute. If you have issues, please text the rest of us directly, but leave them out of it." Spoiler alert, they don't. Lizzie makes the next 6 months hell for my email inbox. She's sending detailed lookbooks and dress code guides for her engagement party and weekend, micromanaging everyone's travel plans, sending detailed schedules down to the minute for every single pre-wedding event, and giving main character syndrome a whole new meaning. She's also continuing to complain about how they feel abandoned and unloved by my extended family from the Midwest, who have been invited to their engagement party weekend, not the actual wedding, but cannot afford to attend. The engagement party weekend is at a small beach resort. It's expensive to fly to, and the kids all have school. My sister's wedding was over their spring break. I tried to explain to my brother and Lizzie, saying, "Hey, this side of the family has kids. They're not rich, and they genuinely cannot afford to come to this event. It's a multi-day event that would put their kids out of school. You're talking thousands of dollars just in plane tickets, not to mention hotel rooms. You didn't even invite them to the wedding. You just invited them to this, and they just can't afford to come. Don't take it personally. You really didn't plan this with them in mind." Telling my brother and Lizzie this truth was clearly a mistake. Lizzie sent our whole family a text saying that it was unfortunate that our family didn't support or care for them enough to show up. At this point, I really started to feel ill over the fact that my brother was marrying this girl. It's just red flag after red flag after red flag. I'm beginning to feel like a prop because the other thing I haven't mentioned, she's becoming a wedding content creator during all of this. Yep, you read that right. She quits her job at a consulting firm to work full-time as a content creator and decides that her wedding is the best way to start. We are the props for her perfect Instagram wedding. At this point, I'm hating every minute of her wedding bullshit, but I'm also trying to keep a relationship intact with my brother because I love him, and I'm also like, blink twice if you need out, you know? 2 months before the wedding, my +1 is revoked. Lizzie and my brother feel like I've defended my sister too much and taken her side during the wedding drama. They want to punish me. My +1 is my boyfriend of a year and a half, and we've already bought plane tickets. I call my brother and say, "Hey, we already bought plane tickets and got an Airbnb. It's incredibly cold and rude to now disinvite my partner." He says that he and Lizzie now feel as if I am trying to upstage their wedding by bringing my boyfriend, and they don't want me to make their day about me. At this point, I'm like, fuck it. I say to my brother, "My boyfriend is going to come with me to the weekend. If he's not invited to the wedding, that's up to you. You can exclude him. It's New York City, so he can find something to do on his own." My brother says, "If you bring him to New York City, I will consider that an attempt to draw attention from us on our wedding weekend." I say, "Well, we're not canceling his flight. He wants to spend time with me and our family, so he will come and he'll spend time with us outside of the wedding. You're the one who disinvited him at the last minute in an effort to punish me. 1 month before the wedding, I get an email from Lizzie telling me that she needs me to get my hair and makeup professionally done on my own dime, even though I'm not a bridesmaid. She tells me what color to paint my nails, what types of shoes I should wear, and what type of jewelry she expects me to wear. I respond by setting a polite and firm boundary. I say, you've given us the wedding dress code, and I will show up looking lovely and appropriately dressed to your big day. You don't need to tell me what type of specific jewelry to wear or how to paint my nails. I prefer to do my own hair and makeup, as I cannot afford to pay a hair and makeup artist of your choosing on top of all the travel expenses. Thank you. Well, that was the last I ever heard from her. I went to the wedding with my family and without my partner. The food sucked. The venue was ridiculously expensive. She yelled at guests for accidentally walking into the venue too early while they were taking photos. My brother looked like a hostage. My mom cried during the vows, but not because she was happy. My dad talked to the father of the bride and learned that Lizzie had spent triple her wedding budget. She got all the Instagram footage and TikTok dances and pictures she could ever want in order to launch her career as a wedding content creator. One of her best friends and bridesmaids doesn't speak to her anymore. She asked people to pull out their phones during the ceremony to take selfies for social media. She blocked me on Instagram after the wedding because I didn't post a tribute about their wedding. And I haven't heard from her or my brother in 2 years. My brother used to be my best friend. I'm confused and heartbroken and worried about what his life will be like. Sometimes I peep her account from my other Instagram where I'm not blocked. I see her keeping up appearances, and to be quite honest, she's built an empire as a wedding content creator. To her credit, she works her ass off, but I know that every beautiful highlight reel posted to Instagram has its own dark story underneath it. Okay, so that's the full story. I don't have time to answer all the questions in this video, so I'll do it in another one coming very soon.
I wanted to make one of those videos of everything that went wrong on my wedding day. I think on the actual day of, I was like, wow, nothing's going wrong. And then when I started compiling this list, I was like, wait, a lot of things went wrong. So let's get into it. First of all, the weather. So we got married in June in Italy, near Florence. I think I was only worried about potential rain, and we actually specifically chose June because it doesn't typically rain that month. It's usually like really good weather. So instead, we got a heat wave. So it was over 100 degrees every single day, literally insane heat. I was worried that someone was gonna like pass out from a stroke or something. Luckily, no one did, but it was insanely hot. The next biggest thing that went wrong, I would say on the wedding day itself, was the timeline. So hair and makeup, for whatever reason, ended up being like over 2 hours behind. We were supposed to do first look before the ceremony. We were supposed to do get all of our photos out of the way. The ceremony was starting at 5, and I think we only wrapped up hair and makeup at like 4:30, and we were supposed to be done at like 1:30. And it was the biggest thing that went wrong, and really like, I don't want to say ruin the vibes for the whole day, but then we ended up missing a bunch of cocktail hour because we had to be taking pictures, and then we missed a bunch of dinner. Same thing happened with the same makeup artist for the welcome dinner, where we were supposed to be done by 5:30. We were only done at like 6:15. I really wanted to be able to be present for most of the day, and I just feel like we ended up missing a lot of it to take pictures, which was really annoying. Another thing was, I kind of like knew I was going to be anxious the day of. Like, I'm a pretty anxious person, and especially like before events, I feel like I always have anxiety, like everything's gonna go right and blah blah blah, and then like once I'm there, I'm usually fine. And I prepared myself. I got beta blockers, I got Zofran, I was taking Let Me Chill. I took it all, and nothing could compete with the anxiety I was feeling. I was having a full-blown panic attack right before walking down the aisle. Like, I was freaking out. I feel like the whole getting ready morning, I just couldn't even like be there fully present in the moment. Like, I had all my girls there, and I feel like I like couldn't even talk to anybody. I was just like sitting in the hair and makeup chair, like couldn't breathe. Another thing is that I wish I had done more things beforehand. I urge you to not have anything to do the morning of the wedding, which I think contributed a little bit to the anxiety. So I had finished I started writing my vows like a year ago, but I hadn't physically wrote them into the book, which took longer than I thought. So I feel like the entire morning that I was in hair, I was writing the vows into the book. And then also like putting the money aside for vendors. Like, I had some of my bridesmaids had to be like running around and putting money into envelopes and like thank you cards. Luckily I wrote all the thank you cards before. And then even like ordering lunch. Like, I feel like the day I was like, oh shit, we never ordered lunch. So like we were scrambling trying to figure that out. And there was probably a few other things that I was like running around. I felt like crazy that morning, or like had to be delegating people to do. So I just felt like the morning wasn't as fun as it could have been. I would say those are like the biggest kind of things that went wrong, or even just like regrets of mine. Not that I know I could have done anything different. Moving to the wedding, I guess some things that, there are small things, so they're really not a big deal, and I wouldn't say affect my experience. When we were doing our grand entrance into the dinner, I had always envisioned, so we had a live sax and electric violinist, or maybe it was honestly on my head. I never actually told anybody I wanted this, but I specifically wanted the live musicians to play the song when we did our grand entrance, and they didn't. They just played it, the DJ just played it on the speaker, and I feel like that kind of like was not as a hype of vibe as I want. Leading into that, one piece of advice I would have is assign a friend to MC if you're MC. So we got married in Italy, and I mean, I had never met the DJ or anything before. I kind of just trusted them to MC, but I would say assign a friend to do it just so they could hype up the vibes more. I feel like even though people were kind of confused at the key moments, like when we were doing our grand entrance, people didn't really realize, and I wanted everybody like already standing, waving their napkins, and then we came out and everyone was kind of like sitting, and then some people slowly started standing, and then it was kind of the same for like our first dance, and then the father-daughter. I feel like people didn't even really realize those were going on and weren't paying attention as much. Another one that was our fault was that we didn't actually do our first dance. We learned an entire dance, like we spent 2 weeks learning it, like crash course, bought a course on YouTube. It had like lifts, it had all these crazy moves in it, and then my husband kept being like, well, what kind of, like, are you gonna be able to do this in your actual dress? And I was like, yeah, it'll be fine, like no problem. And also our first dance was like on the grass, and I was wearing heels. And then when the actual wedding day came and we did our first look, and he saw my dress, and he was like, there's no way we can do that dance in this dress. And I was just like, already having panic attack anxiety. I was like, we're not doing the first dance, like forget it, we're not doing it. And then we were like, it's fine, we'll just do it at the after party. Like in our after party, I had an after party change of outfit, and then the after party kicked off, and it was just like such a vibe, and like EDM music so fun. We were like, whatever, there's no time to like now pull everybody over to do this first dance. But I am kind of sad we didn't get to have that big wow first dance moment. Another one that a lot of brides talk about is I didn't touch up my lips, or my dress had like was like a sweetheart line, and I felt like my, you know, you want like your cleavage, and it kept kind of like my hands were up, so the cleavage was kind of falling out. So in a lot of pictures, like it kind of looks like the dress is a little bit too big on me because I wasn't adjusting the girls. I applied when my makeup artist put the lips on, and then never did it again after that. So I haven't gotten all the photos back. Hopefully the close-ups don't look too hard. Another small thing is that because I said like in the beginning we had this like 2-hour delay in the timeline, the dinner just ended up being kind of like running behind schedule. And then we had to do the second look change, and our venue had like a 10:30, you have to go inside rule for noise because of the neighbor. Came out, did like our second look, and then that went straight into cake cutting. And then basically like instead of having half hour or so to eat cake, I feel like there was like 10 minutes. So a lot of my guests never even got to try the cake. Like I don't know what happened to the cake. We had one of those like giant Italian milfoil cakes. And I wish that they had either like saved the cake for us. Like I asked the planner the next day, there was no cake left. Like I don't know what happened to it. We also had tiramisu cups, so they could have saved that. So I don't know what happened to any of that. Or I wish they had at least like brought the cake inside and continued to hand it out during the after party inside when people were dancing. This is another small thing. I mean, I feel like it actually could be good advice for other brides, but I wish we had given out disposable cameras at the after party. Our photographer video, all those people left at like 12, and our after party went until 3 a.m. And I feel like people would have gotten such fun pictures. I actually had a bunch of disposable cameras, and I only gave them out at the pool party. And at the pool party, it's kind of like people were just lounging, chilling, so the pictures are okay. But I feel like at the after party, the pictures would have been crazy. So I really wish that I had actually used the disposable cameras for the after party instead. We did have like a guest book with a Polaroid camera and out of film. And looking through the guest book, the photos were so funny, like so fun to look at, that I wish we had more film, or like I said, the disposable cameras. Like I feel like the pictures would have been really fun. This was another thing that went wrong, and I don't know what the hell happened. So I don't drink alcohol at all. I haven't drank in like 2-3 years. I didn't drink at the wedding. One of my friends was flying out the next day, so we were packing up my wedding dress, like vacuum sealing it for her to take home. So we were up until like 5 a.m. and then at 5 a.m. I don't know what happened. I just started puking, and I was just like puking for like the next 2 hours or something, like basically like the whole night. And I think it was just like the nerves caught up with me. Yeah, I'd taken all those like beta blockers over and all that in the morning. Maybe they just wore off, and I don't know what the hell happened. Like that was crazy. So I was feeling extremely dead the next day. Thank God we did our pool party. It only started at 1 p.m. I think I woke up the next day at like 12:15, felt like a total zombie. Otherwise, I would say we had the best week of our lives. All of that aside, I honestly didn't even think about half of these things when I was there. I'm just thinking about them now when I started like recounting everything that happened. But I would say none of that ruined the weekend or the experience for us. It was still the best time of our lives, having all of our loved ones in one place, and I honestly wish I could do it again. 10-year reunion, maybe.
I genuinely think my wedding was cursed. Before I even walked down the aisle, my mother-in-law fell off a mountain. My house got destroyed in a hailstorm. I got robbed, and I got in a major car accident where I looked like Megamind for about 2 weeks. And somehow, none of those things are actually what ruined my wedding day. So let's start from the beginning. So my husband wanted to propose to me where he asked me to be his girlfriend, which was on top of this mountain that overlooks the lake. So he had his family and my family go up there and start decorating while I got ready. Obviously, the proposal was a surprise, and I thought we were taking Christmas pictures because he had his whole family in on it. He told me it was a family tradition, and I was like, yay, I'm part of the family now. this point, we've been dating for about 2.5 years, and we've been living together for about a year. I obviously wasn't there because I was getting ready. On the way up there, multiple people got a flat tire. So if that wasn't a sign already, it definitely was by the end of this story. What ended up happening was my mother-in-law was decorating on top of this ledge on the mountain. The way that my sisters told it, she was up there stringing up some string lights, and everybody was like, be careful, you know, don't fall. And she's like, no, I'm good, I got this. The way that she told it, she took a step back because she thought she had more of the ledge behind her and just dropped. So they turned around because they heard something, and she's just gone. My youngest sister at the time was in nursing school, so she runs over to the edge of the cliff where she last saw my mother-in-law, looks down, and there she is at the bottom of the mountain. And around this time, we get a call from my husband's sister. She's relaying that mom fell off the cliff, but she thinks she just broke her ankle, and she's not there yet. Dad had called and said, hey, mom fell off the cliff, we think she broke her ankle. So she tells my husband, hey, you could probably still go ahead with the proposal. Mom probably just won't be there. Turns out, she broke a lot more than just her ankle. Ends up getting med-flighted to the next city over because her injuries are so bad. So the helicopter comes and gets her. And at this point, my husband's like, okay, get in the car, we gotta go. So we drive the hour to the hospital, and when we get there, everybody's dressed pretty nice, and a lot of her family's there, and they're like, we're sorry, sorry, Eli, which is my husband. They were like, but you can still do it. At this point, I'm catching on, but right now is not the time to play detective. Long story short, she ends up being in a wheelchair for months. At this point, I thought that would be the worst thing we were going to go through. Now, I realized it was really just the beginning. Because then we had to move back in with our parents.
I don't normally make reviews like this or videos like this, but I feel like it's time to tell my story about why I had to buy a second wedding dress a week before I leave for my wedding. So if you're a bride in the New York, New Jersey area, thinking about getting married soon, looking for your dress, you might want to watch this video. It's in direct reference to a place in New Jersey called Castle Couture. So I went dress shopping in November of 2025 for my upcoming wedding in June 2026. We're actually eloping in Venice, so it's super low-key, but it is a destination wedding still. A lot of planning has gone into it, and I definitely knew to abide by the bridal timelines. Ordered my dress. I had end of the day appointment, and although my stylist at the time, she was great in the appointment, I do feel that because it was like the end of the day, it was kind of just like, okay, pick a dress and here's the paperwork, sign it, pay for it, and let's get you out of here. And also after the fact, she had mentioned, any questions, any concerns, please, reach out to me. And I had, and every single time I had a question, it would have been ignored, or I had to ask 2 to 3 weeks, she would have forgotten about it. So that was kind of just like a stressful process too, when you're waiting all this time for a very expensive wedding dress to come in. So my wedding dress finally came in for me to be able to pick up from Castle Couture in April of 2026 this year, 2 months ago. And so when I went to go pick it up, even on the phone, the people in alterations were very rude to me. When I got there, they were extremely rude to me. They just were like, okay, go into that room. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? I've never bought a wedding dress before. I've never tried on my wedding dress after purchasing it before, so I really didn't know what to do. After I asked, hey, what do I do? She's just like, okay, just put the dress on. I was alone. My family lives out of state, so, and a lot of my friends live out of state, so it was just me for a lot of these appointments. Actually, all of the appointments. So, after trying to put on my dress, it was so big that it quite literally, I'm not exaggerating, could have fit 2 of me. Minimum 2 of me. So I asked, hey, can you guys just like clip this? I mean, I know that they come bigger, you're supposed to get them altered. Again, I didn't realize that this was not normal. This is not how big it should be. Alterations should be minimal alterations, especially when you think they're ordering a dress that they took your measurements, they're ordering it to your size, and they're ordering it, based on their charts and size charts and the designer, which they're responsible for. Again, I'm the bride, I'm the customer. I have no idea what you're ordering, what you're telling me, what my size is. I'm going based off of everything you're telling me. So when I had asked for it to be clipped, I was point blank said no. Told no. And so I was just like kind of taken aback by that. And the girl was so rude. I was like, well, is there a manager I could speak to see if like somebody can help me? And finally one of the seamstresses came out and she overheard that. And so she started pinning me up. And even the seamstress was like kind of taken back by how big this dress was on me. So because of my experience there during my pickup of my dress and in the alterations department, I decided to not get my alterations done there. I live in Staten Island, about 40 minutes from Castle Couture. Um, if you know this area, you have to pay a lot of tolls to go back and forth. And then I also have a infant son. So it's not that easy for me to drive 40 minutes back and forth to an alterations appointment to begin with. So I decided to find a local seamstress with good reviews, good reputation to be able to alter my dress. Again, at this point, I didn't realize how badly my dress was misordered in the wrong size. Um, until I started going around to seamstresses and them literally laughing in my face, laughing when I mentioned the name Castle Couture, and telling me that this isn't the first time and how they refuse to work on my dress because of how large it is and how much work it would need to get to be done in order for it to fit me. Mind you, this is in April. My wedding is in June. I now have only a couple weeks to my wedding to the point where I'm trying to figure out who's going to alter my dress. I finally found a seamstress in April who agreed to alter my dress for $1,100. Now, although I am upset with that seamstress, I do truly believe they are not at fault in this scenario because of the sheer amount of work that needed to be done to basically reconstruct this dress to fit me. Because of the way the bodice is, because of the way the skirt was, it needed to be reconstructed. And they essentially have destroyed the dress in the process of trying to alter it and reconstruct it to fit me. As a result, based on my last fitting, my alterations appointment, it just seemed like there was no way that I was going to be able to wear that dress. We leave in a couple days. We're getting eloped in Italy, and our flight leaves on Sunday night. So today is Monday. So I had to go yesterday to Kleinfeld to find a new dress. So thankfully, I was able to find a new dress that fits me pretty well. Um, Obviously, it's not my first choice. It's not my dream dress. It's not the dress that I've planned my entire wedding elopement around. My fiance's outfit, my son's outfit, my maid of honor, my best friend. Everything has been planned around that dress. Um, and unfortunately, I looks like I'm not going to be able to wear that dress. And again, this all comes down to the service and lack thereof care at Castle Couture, because there's no reason why I'm going to different people who never met each other, never met me, never know my story. And I mention Castle Couture and they tell me that they've had a similar experience, or they scoff, or they make a stink face because the reputation there is just, had I known before I went there, I would have never gone. So I guess the point of this video is really just to, tell my story and to warn other brides that are getting married about what could possibly happen. Again, I'm just one person. I don't know if this is every single person, but the people that I've encountered, again, everyone I've mentioned this to, it seems like this is a common occurrence. So that is enough for me to come and tell my story, because now I am thousands and thousands of dollars in the hole, and I technically, as of this moment, have 0 dresses that fit me because I just had to take the new one that I bought from Kleinfeld to get altered, and that's a whole nother expense, a whole nother $500. So just in alterations, I'm in for $1,500 on top of the cost of the dresses, which I'm not going to say how much my dresses cost, but they were in the thousands. And now it's just, I have no dress, and I'm getting married in 2 weeks, and we leave in a couple days. So that's my story. If it helps you, it helps you. But yeah, honestly though, Casa Couture.
My wedding venue was threatening to cancel my wedding literally weeks before we were getting married, and they made the entire wedding planning process a living hell for me. But hello, I couldn't talk about any of this because they were already threatening to cancel my wedding. Guess what? We're married, I'm done, I'm retired, and I finally get to sit down and spill the tea with you guys on all of the diabolical shit they've put me through for an entire year. I joked around that I was gonna make this a 20-part series. I am genuinely going to try to keep this into one part. If I hit the 10-minute limit on TikTok, I'm gonna have to go into part 2, but I have to share a level of detail for you guys to understand the state of mind they put me in, the level of gaslighting and lying from like 3 or 4 different employees. If I don't share that level of detail, like, you simply just will not understand. So grab a drink, grab a snack, we're gonna be here for a second. I need to preface this story by saying, yes, I had my wedding at an Airbnb. I have heard the Airbnb horror stories, but you don't think it's going to happen to you. Nor could I have ever imagined in my wildest dreams that the series of events that occurred would have ever happened in any alternate universe, okay? Let's start back in February 2025, okay? We're on Airbnb looking for different properties. We stumbled across this one in Palm Desert and we absolutely fell in love with it. It was 5 acres. It had 3 houses on property. It was gonna fit our entire family and a couple of close friends. It had 2 pools, a tennis court. Like, it was just absolutely beautiful and unlike anything else we had found. We shot them a message, told them we wanted to have a wedding, asked if they allow weddings. They said that they did. They just charge like a small event fee. So we immediately book a walkthrough and we go and visit it in person. First kind of weird thing is that we were told somebody was gonna meet us in person to do the walkthrough and nobody ever did. They just like shot us a gate code and like door codes, and we did kind of like a self-guided tour, which actually we were fine with because we didn't want the pressure of like, you know, feeling like we had to book right then and there. So we were like, you know, whatever, a little weird, but it's fine. So after we viewed it, we loved it. We knew we wanted to book immediately. We had a couple follow-up questions that we obviously needed to call them because nobody met us there to do the tour. When I called the property management on the phone and gave them the dates we wanted to get married, they had told us right off the bat that the owner was planning on doing construction to the property. They had told us that they wanted to add on to the property, like add on bedrooms, that they also wanted to do some work outside, like add on some sports fields and some playground equipment. Because we were booking before the construction had happened, but they knew our wedding would be after the construction had happened. They basically were trying to figure out a rate to charge us because essentially we were going to be getting like a post-construction experience with a pre-construction rate. Does that make sense? They were essentially doing construction so that they could charge more. Long story short, for like 2 months, every time I would call them, they would say, we still haven't heard from the owner. We're still trying to get an answer from the owner. Call back next week. I'd call back next week. They still wouldn't have an answer for me. Literally 2 months goes by where I cannot get an answer from them, and we are just trying to book our wedding because we were almost a year out from when we wanted to get married, which is really when you have to have like the big ticket items like venue, photographer, videographer booked because they literally start booking up. Finally, in May 2025, exactly a year out from our wedding date, they allow us to book. Still didn't have their permits approved. They still didn't have like a guaranteed construction timeline. So they went ahead and just gave us like the pre-construction price, as they should have, because hello, what if the construction didn't happen? But they really framed it as we were getting such a deal because by the time we get married, there's gonna be all of these improvements and the construction's gonna be done and yada yada, whatever. That's a theme here, okay? I got such a deal. Now, something extremely important to note is at this point, I was talking directly with the property management. We had taken all communication off of Airbnb, and I ended up booking directly with property management because there was like a 10% discount because we didn't have to pay the Airbnb fees, okay? I was no longer protected by Airbnb. Also, this is a full-blown property management company. They have like almost 100 houses out in the desert. It was not some like sketchy little small company. Like it's a legit thing, okay? I didn't think I was going to need the protection of Airbnb, nor do I even know if that would have helped. So we put our 50% deposit down. We made sure there was something in our agreement that stated like we needed to be informed of like when the construction started and ended, and that if construction was going to go into our wedding date and the house was basically inhabitable, that the property management company was going to be responsible for placing us in a different home, which was never going to be ideal anyways, because none of their other homes compared to this place, like it was 5 acres and like 10,000 square feet. Yes, they had some other really amazing, beautiful homes, but like nothing else would have really worked that was kind of just there for like a protection for us, you know? That was my way of thinking like, oh, I really like found a loophole in making sure this Airbnb wedding really happens. Now, when I booked, they informed me that they had a referral program that basically was if I refer anybody to book one of their properties, that person would get 10% off of their booking, and I was gonna get like 8% of my booking back, which is actually a lot of money when your booking is $8,000. Like 8% back of $8,000, is a good amount of money. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like I post content online. Like I really think a lot of people are going to be interested. I'll probably have a pretty large influx of people interested in this property. Like what is the best way for us to go about this referral program? So I'm not like completely inundating you guys, but that we can like keep track of who I'm like handing off to you. So they were like, oh my gosh, no problem. Like all you have to do, shoot us a text with somebody's name, their phone number, their email. We're going to create an account for them. We're going to mark in their account that you are their referral so that at any point in the future, if they decide to book, we will know to give them their discount and we will know to give you your discount. And I was like, great, this sounds amazing. Literally the second I booked, secured our dates, put down our deposit, I posted a video that is currently sitting at 200,000 views on TikTok, 200,000 views of free advertisement for them. Now, I did not want to inundate them with every random person on TikTok that was commenting saying they were interested. So I was spending hours and hours every single day vetting people. It got to the point that I was messaging people so frequently, just like responding to the inquiries I was getting, that TikTok literally banned me from DMing people because they thought I was doing like something suspicious. The only way I would actually pass someone along as a referral contact to the property management was if somebody had like confirmed they were getting married, confirmed they were local, and confirmed they physically wanted to do a venue walkthrough. Then I would pass along their info so that I was not sending them like literally hundreds of names a day. But even with vetting people, I sent them like dozens and dozens of names and spent all of the time. Yes, I was trying to get money back too, but that was also me handing off lots of free customers to them. So from about May to September, everything was business as usual. I have no complaints. I didn't really need them for anything. They didn't really need me for anything. It was kind of quiet. I was just like, you know, doing wedding planning in the background. On September 24th, I'm going through and sending them a couple more referrals, and I get this text back from them. It says, just an FYI, for that location, we are no longer accepting new reservations. The owners are doing a major overhaul of the property and wanted us to not take any reservations until they're finished sometime in 2026. In which I respond, thank you so much for letting me know. Is this going to interfere with our current booking in May? Left on red. That was the first time in this wedding planning process that I really shit myself because I'm like, how are you going to drop that bomb on me and then just leave me on red when I asked for reassurance, like, hey, like, we're good, right? Like, this isn't going to interfere with our booking. Why would you leave me on red? Something you're going to notice here is this was a theme, okay? Anytime I needed any type of critical information, no response, zero response, ghosted, phone number, email, texting, doesn't matter. I would not get a response from them. Finally somehow got them on the phone in early October, which was like, again, literally an Olympic event. When I got them on the phone, they didn't really have any new information for me besides like, yeah, business as usual. We're starting construction. You should be fine is what I kept getting. You should be fine. We scheduled another walkthrough for October 5th because we had to finalize some stuff with rentals. And I was like, great, good to go, nothing to worry about. And on October 15th, I received this DM from a random girl on TikTok. It says, hi, Britt, I reached out to the company that manages the house you're getting married in, which I was also hoping to rent myself. But they said the owners are going to begin self-managing around January or February. Have you heard about this? Do you maybe have the contact info for the owners? Could you share? Thank you in advance. Why am I finding out this information from a girl on TikTok and not from the place that I have literally booked this venue through? This was now the second time I'd shit myself in the wedding planning process because let me just explain this to you. Every single written, verbal, any type of agreement I had for this venue was through the property management. So if the owners, and there was quite literally something in our agreement that said if the owner sold the house or if the owners stopped working with the property management, essentially all of my agreements were null and void. The owner did not need to keep my booking. The owner did not need to honor the price they gave me. My referrals, the dozens and dozens of people I had already sent over to them, that was an agreement with the property management. This was a very big deal. Again, why am I finding out about this from a random girl on TikTok? Now we're 7 months out from our wedding. I'm freaking out. I try calling them. Do I get an answer? Of course not. So I send them this text message. I was just told by someone that I referred over to you guys for the blank property will no longer be managed with you guys and will be turned over to the owners. I was hoping I could get some additional information from you since we have this booked for our wedding and I have already paid 50%. I would also like to find out about the referrals I've sent over and if that will still be honored. Any information would be appreciated. In which they say, right now they've asked us to not take any more reservations and they are upgrading the property and are planning on honoring any existing reservation. They plan to take over management once they're finished upgrading. Then I say, have any of the referrals I've sent over made bookings? Left on red. This was in October. You can see my next text to them was in December. They literally just never got back to me. Again, anytime I needed some type of like accountability or answer from them, like he had just texted me. I texted him back 30 seconds later and all of a sudden I can't get a response because now I'm asking about the referrals I've sent them. All right, guys, this is gonna be a lot more parts than I anticipated, but I'm at time. My wedding venue was threatening to cancel my wedding literally weeks before we were getting married, and they made the entire wedding planning process a living hell for me. But hello, I couldn't talk about any of this because they were already threatening to cancel my wedding. Guess what? We're married, I'm done, I'm retired, and I finally get to sit down and spill the tea with you guys on all of the diabolical shit they've put me through for an entire year. I joked around that I was gonna make this a 20-part series. I am genuinely going to try to keep this into one part. If I hit the 10-minute limit on TikTok, I'm gonna have to go into part 2, but I have to share a level of detail for you guys to understand the state of mind they put me in, the level of gaslighting and lying from like 3 or 4 different employees. If I don't share that level of detail, like you simply just will not understand. So grab a drink, grab a snack, we're gonna be here for a second. I need to preface this story by saying, yes, I had my wedding at an Airbnb. I have heard the Airbnb horror stories, but you don't think it's going to happen to you. Nor could I have ever imagined in my wildest dreams that the series of events that occurred would have ever happened in any alternate universe, okay? Let's start back in February 2025, okay? We're on Airbnb looking for different properties. We stumbled across this one in Palm Desert and we absolutely fell in love with it. It's 5 acres. It had 3 houses on property. It was going to fit our entire family and a couple of close friends. It had 2 pools, a tennis court. Like, it was just absolutely beautiful and unlike anything else we had found. We shot them a message, told them we wanted to have a wedding, asked if they allow weddings. They said that they did. They just charge like a small event fee. So we immediately book a walkthrough and we go and visit it in person. First kind of weird thing is that we were told somebody was going to meet us in person to do the walkthrough and nobody ever did. They just like shot us a gate code and like door codes and we did kind of like a self-guided tour, which actually we were fine with because we didn't want the pressure of like, you know, feeling like we had to book right then and there. So we were like, you know, whatever, a little weird, but it's fine. So after we viewed it, we loved it. We knew we wanted to book immediately. We had a couple follow-up questions that we obviously needed to call them because nobody met us there to do the tour. When I called the property management on the phone and gave them the dates we wanted to get married, they had told us right off the bat that the owner was planning on doing construction to the property. They told us that they wanted to add on to the property, like add on bedrooms, that they also wanted to do some work outside, like add on some sports fields and some playground equipment. Because we were booking before the construction had happened, but they knew our wedding would be after the construction had happened. They basically were trying to figure out a rate to charge us because essentially we were going to be getting like a post-construction experience with a pre-construction rate. Does that make sense? They were essentially doing construction so that they could charge more. Long story short, for like 2 months, every time I would call them, they would say, we still haven't heard from the owner. We're still trying to get an answer from the owner. Call back next week. I'd call back next week. They still wouldn't have an answer for me. Literally 2 months goes by where I cannot get an answer from them and we are just trying to book our wedding because we were almost a year out from when we wanted to get married, which is really when you have to have like the big ticket items like venue, photographer, videographer booked because they literally start booking up. Finally, in May 2025, exactly a year out from our wedding date, they allow us to book. Still didn't have their permits approved. They still didn't have like a guaranteed construction timeline. So they went ahead and just gave us like the pre-construction price, as they should have, because hello, what if the construction didn't happen? But they really framed it as we were getting such a deal because by the time we get married, there's going to be all of these improvements and the construction's going to be done and yada yada, whatever. That's a theme here, okay? I got such a deal. Now, something extremely important to note is at this point, I was talking directly with the property management. We had taken all communication off of Airbnb and I ended up booking directly with property management because there was like a 10% discount because we didn't have to pay the Airbnb fees, okay? I was no longer protected by Airbnb. Also, this is a full-blown property management company. They have like almost 100 houses out in the desert. It was not some like sketchy little small company. Like it's a legit thing, okay? I didn't think I was going to need the protection of Airbnb, nor do I even know if that would have helped. So we put our 50% deposit down. We made sure there was something in our agreement that stated like we needed to be informed of like when the construction started and ended, and that if construction was going to go into our wedding date and the house was basically inhabitable, that the property management company was going to be responsible for placing us in a different home, which was never going to be ideal anyways, because none of their other homes compared to this place, like it was 5 acres and like 10,000 square feet. Yes, they had some other really amazing, beautiful homes, but like nothing else would have really worked that was kind of just there for like a protection for us, you know? That was my way of thinking like, oh, I really like found a loophole in making sure this Airbnb wedding really happens. Now, when I booked, they informed me that they had a referral program that basically was if I refer anybody to book one of their properties, that person would get 10% off of their booking and I was going to get like 8% of my booking back, which is actually a lot of money when your booking is $8,000. Like 8% back of $8,000, is a good amount of money. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I post content online. Like, I really think a lot of people are going to be interested. I'll probably have a pretty large influx of people interested in this property. Like, what is the best way for us to go about this referral program? So I'm not like completely inundating you guys, but that we can like keep track of who I'm like handing off to you. So they were like, oh my gosh, no problem. Like, all you have to do, shoot us a text with somebody's name, their phone number, their email. We're going to create an account for them. We're going to mark in their account that you are their referral so that at any point in the future, if they decide to book, we will know to give them their discount and we will know to give you your discount. And I was like, great, this sounds amazing. Literally the second I booked, secured our dates, put down our deposit, I posted a video that is currently sitting at 200,000 views on TikTok, 200,000 views of free advertisement for them. Now, I did not want to inundate them with every random person on TikTok that was commenting saying they were interested. So I was spending hours and hours every single day vetting people. It got to the point that I was messaging people so frequently, just like responding to the inquiries I was getting, that TikTok literally banned me from DMing people because they thought I was doing like something suspicious. The only way I would actually pass someone along as a referral contact to the property management was if somebody had like confirmed they were getting married, confirmed they were local, and confirmed they physically wanted to do a venue walkthrough. Then I would pass along their info so that I was not sending them like literally hundreds of names a day. But even with vetting people, I sent them like dozens and dozens of names and spent all of the time. Yes, I was trying to get money back too, but that was also me handing off lots of free customers to them. So from about May to September, everything was business as usual. I have no complaints. I didn't really need them for anything. They didn't really need me for anything. It was kind of quiet. I was just like, you know, doing wedding planning in the background. On September 24th, I'm going through and sending them a couple more referrals, and I get this text back from them. It says, just an FYI, for that location, we are no longer accepting new reservations. The owners are doing a major overhaul of the property and wanted us to not take any reservations until they're finished sometime in 2026. In which I respond, thank you so much for letting me know. Is this going to interfere with our current booking in May? Left on red. That was the first time in this wedding planning process that I really shit myself, because I'm like, how are you going to drop that bomb on me and then just leave me on red when I asked for reassurance, like, hey, like, we're good, right? Like, this isn't going to interfere with our booking. Why would you leave me on red? Something you're going to notice here is this was a theme, okay? Anytime I needed any type of critical information, no response, zero response, ghosted, phone number, email, texting, doesn't matter. I would not get a response from them. Finally somehow got them on the phone in early October, which was like, again, literally an Olympic event. When I got them on the phone, they didn't really have any new information for me besides like, yeah, business as usual. We're starting construction. You should be fine is what I kept getting. You should be fine. We scheduled another walkthrough for October 5th because we had to finalize some stuff with rentals. And I was like, great, good to go, nothing to worry about. And on October 15th, I received this DM from a random girl on TikTok. It says, hi, Britt, I reached out to the company that manages the house you're getting married in, which I was also hoping to rent myself. But they said the owners are going to begin self-managing around January or February. Have you heard about this? Do you maybe have the contact info for the owners? Could you share? Thank you in advance. Why am I finding out this information from a girl on TikTok and not from the place that I have literally booked this venue through? This was now the second time I had shit myself in the wedding planning process, because let me just explain this to you. Every single written, verbal, any type of agreement I had for this venue was through the property management. So if the owners, and there was quite literally something in our agreement that said if the owner sold the house or if the owners stopped working with the property management, essentially all of my agreements were null and void. The owner did not need to keep my booking. The owner did not need to honor the price they gave me. My referrals, the dozens and dozens of people I had already sent over to them, that was an agreement with the property management. This was a very big deal. Again, why am I finding out about this from a random girl on TikTok? Now we're 7 months out from our wedding. I'm freaking out. I try calling them. Do I get an answer? Of course not. So I send them this text message. I was just told by someone that I referred over to you guys for the blank property will no longer be managed with you guys and will be turned over to the owners. I was hoping I could get some additional information from you since we have this booked for our wedding and I have already paid 50%. I would also like to find out about the referrals I've sent over and if that will still be honored. Any information would be appreciated. In which they say, right now they've asked us to not take any more reservations and they are upgrading the property and are planning on honoring any existing reservation. They plan to take over management once they're finished upgrading. Then I say, have any of the referrals I've sent over made bookings? Left on red. This was in October. You can see my next text to them was in December. They literally just never got back to me. Again, anytime I needed some type of like accountability or answer from them, like he had just texted me. I texted him back 30 seconds later and all of a sudden I can't get a response because now I'm asking about the referrals I've sent them. All right, guys, this is going to be a lot more parts than I anticipated, but I'm at time. Part 3 of where the fuck did I get married? At this point, Cassidy is at the venue for her wedding weekend. She finds out there are 9 beds missing. They put in more playground equipment and stuff outside that blocks basically the last spot left to get married. She's finding out all of this on the dot when she has 30 family members that are supposed to be coming to her wedding weekend. I'm freaking out because my wedding's literally in a month. We're in peak festival season out in the desert. Every hotel is expensive. Every hotel is booked. My entire family is expecting a free vacation and then being able to stay on site. How are we going to book hotel rooms? Like literally my head was absolutely spinning. I won't get too far into Cassie's experience because that is her experience, but I do need to mention that they were the absolute worst to her. She called them at 1 p.m. freaking out saying like, hello, there's 9 beds missing. Why was I not contacted about this? Which that is just diabolical. Let's put aside the fact that me and her were both getting married. Let's say somebody was just planning a family vacation, a family reunion. When you book an Airbnb, you are specifically booking a spot, probably expecting it to accommodate the size of your group. The fact that they took out 9 beds and did not feel the need to inform me or her, and they had other bookings, like, what do you mean that is something you're just not going to share with people when they have 30 people planning on staying on site? Like that is absolutely insane to me. I will never get over that. But anyway, she calls them at 1 p.m. to tell them what was going on. They offer to bring out cots and air mattresses, which in my opinion is still not ideal. I would not want my mom or grandparent or aunt on a freaking cot or an air mattress when I'm spending thousands of dollars on an Airbnb. She calls them at 1 p.m. They ghost her all day long after that. After they said, oh, we're gonna come make it right. They ghost her all day long. Someone finally shows up at 11 p.m. with cots and air mattresses. What in the world took them 10 hours to bring those? And the person that dropped it off to her literally told her that he was just called and woken up 30 minutes prior. I can't even imagine what she went through. I feel terrible for her. Like her experience, hands down, a million times worse than mine. Like, what do you mean you're gonna walk into your wedding weekend to that shit show? Like, that is actually insane. So we don't really chat more after that. She's at her wedding enjoying herself, right? Coincidentally enough, Sarah reaches out to me Friday and it's just like, hey, just wanted to touch base. I know for a fact she found out what happened to Cassidy and she was trying to do like a little premature damage control with me. Up until that point, she had just said, oh, I found out there was playground equipment in a putting green. She didn't mention the bed situation, so I wasn't gonna mention it either. I'm like, yeah, that's really unfortunate. Like, that's the spot left that we were planning on getting married and like, you know, really annoying, whatever. We finally go Sunday and view it in person and in fact confirm that there are 9 beds missing. And I would put my life on that because I have videos from every single time I've gone to that venue, which this was now our 3rd. There were 9 beds missing. Sarah has the audacity to text me and say, hey, what did you think of the space? Like, oh, like I was going to be so pleasantly surprised. Express my frustration to her, especially over the bed situation, in which she tells me that management is telling her there are only 3 beds missing. That is a damn lie. They are literally the biggest gaslighters I've ever met in my life. And they told Cassidy the same thing, that 9 beds weren't missing. It was only 3, which I give them the benefit of the doubt. And I say 9 beds were taken out, but 4 were added when they added on those bedrooms. But we were expecting those to be additions. Like he told me construction's done and we added on 3 bedrooms. So I thought, great, we got more beds. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Yes, 9 were taken out. Yes, you guys added 4. That's still negative 5 beds. That's still, what, 10 heads that could sleep in beds that are literally now gone? Then Sarah tries to claim, oh, the owners thought that people would be happy to get rid of bunk beds and get real beds. Again, they did not replace bunk beds with real beds. They took out multiple bunk beds. They took out multiple queen beds. They took out multiple king beds. 9 beds are gone. You did not just take out bunk beds and replace them by real beds. Like, it's the way they would like continue to lie and gaslight and try and convince us of something when we literally had videos and photos. Like, you cannot convince me you did not take out 9 beds. Like, I will show you the footage. Basically, at the end of Sunday, Sarah had asked, what can we do for you? Like, what is the solution? I still owed them 50% of my booking. So I owed them about $4,200. I said, I think the best solution is that I only owe you guys 50% of that 50%. So essentially they would take off 25% of our entire booking, about $2,400. Mind you, Cassidy got $1,900 off of her booking. I still had my referral bonus I was supposed to get back, and I was supposed to get a discount for bringing in rentals. Now 9 beds are gone. So I felt like $2,400 off was pretty reasonable. Like, that was a little bit more than Cassidy got off. This is where they really start to trigger me. So we have that conversation Sunday night and I don't hear from her. And I check in Tuesday. Hey, Sarah, do you have an update? Check in again Thursday. Hey, Sarah, do you have an update? It's now April 2nd. It is literally our wedding month, and I do not have an update on if I'm getting money back, if I can afford to place my family elsewhere. They're also supposed to be getting back to me to let me know if they're gonna be putting more beds in. Like, everything was up in the air on like what they were going to do to accommodate us in literally the next like 4 weeks. Everything comes to a peak that Friday, okay? April 3rd. I am literally leaving the next day for my bachelorette. I'm gonna be gone for 5 days. So I told Sarah, like, I need an answer tonight. I'm not gonna be wedding planning for the next 5 days. I need an answer before I leave because when I come back, it's literally go, go, go. Like, the wedding is gonna be here before we know it. That's when she tells me, the manager of the property management, let's call her Ashley. Ashley's going to go to the property today and talk with the owners. Mind you, every single day this week, she's told me that Ashley's going to talk with the owners, and Ashley has not talked with the owners. But today is the day that it's going to happen. While I'm waiting to hear from Sarah on like what answer Ashley has come up with, Sarah starts telling me, oh, we actually don't think we're going to give you a reimbursement after all, because Cassidy was so upset after her wedding that like giving her a reimbursement didn't actually fix the problem. First of all, why are you talking to me about another customer? That is extremely unprofessional. It is none of my business what experience Cassidy has, and it's up to Cassidy to tell me her experience. Why does Cassidy's experience and whatever issue you guys had with Cassidy, what does that have to do with me? So because you guys refunded a different customer that was still unhappy because they had a horrific experience, now I am ineligible for any discount. You just discounted somebody getting married in March for the same situation I am experiencing getting married in April, but now I can't get a discount because she wasn't happy. Like, make that make sense. So unprofessional overall. 10:30 in the morning, after I'd been told that Ashley was going to the property to speak with the owners, I get a text from Ashley directly. Remember, this is like the manager of the property management. She says, this is Ashley. Let me know when you're free. I text her in 0.3 seconds and say, hey, Ashley, I'm free. Do I get a response? Of course not. So then I text her at 12:15, 2 hours later. Hey, Ashley, I leave for a trip tomorrow for 5 days and I won't be available. Hoping we can connect today. Please let me know what time works. I don't get a response. Why would you text me, ask me when I'm free, imply that you're going to be helping me, and then just literally ghost me? Like, it is the story of my life with these people. So I literally take a screenshot of that conversation with Ashley. I send it to Sarah around 3 o'clock and I'm like, hey, Sarah, I don't know what's going on. She reached out to me this morning. I still have not heard from her. Sarah says, let me find out what's going on. I'm sure she's busy. Then at 6:15, I still have not received an update, and I'm literally leaving at 6 in the morning for my bachelorette. Sarah tells me, oh, I think she's on a plane, but I know she'll get back to me. How is she on a plane now? Like, with these people, it's the most extravagant stories ever. Like, after fact checking with Cassidy, it's always someone's in Cabo, someone's on a plane, someone's giving birth, someone's at a baby shower, like my dog just got out. It's always the most extravagant stories with them. Finally, it's 8 p.m. I am so fed up. I've been so nice to Sarah up until this point. I'm like, I cannot do this anymore. Everyone's giving me the runaround. Nobody can give me an answer. I've been talking to them since literally 8 in the morning. Like, why can nobody just get back to me? And I like literally just express all of my frustration to Sarah. That's when Sarah says that I hurt her feelings. She's trying her best, whatever. But this is where things really escalate, okay? Ashley, the manager of the property management, finally calls me, I shit you not, at 9 p.m. at night after she had texted me at 10:30 in the morning. She lets me know, sorry I didn't get back to you. I've been sick and I haven't been working all day. They can't even get their stories together. Sarah told me Ashley was meeting with the owners. Then Sarah told me Ashley was on a flight. And then Ashley told me herself that she was sick and didn't even work today. So it's like, they all would just like, nobody was on the same page with their lies. And like, this is what I'm telling you, where like, I unfortunately have to share this level of detail because every conversation ever for the entire year, there was always some explanation that didn't make sense. There was always lies. It was always gaslighting. And it's like, why are you all telling me different stories? And it's like, they made their life more difficult. Just tell me you'll get back to me tomorrow if you're gonna get back to me tomorrow. Like, don't give me some weird lie on why you couldn't get back to me today. And then your guys' lies don't even add up. Like, that was what was so frustrating. I wanted them to realize, like, do you guys realize that you're all telling different lies? Anyways, I wish on everything in my soul that I would have recorded this conversation, but unfortunately that's illegal in California. I cannot believe the interaction I had with Ashley. Mind you, this is my first time speaking with her. I've been so nice to everyone up until this point. The entire conversation, she told me I was milking the situation and I was just trying to get money, that me and Cassidy were like working in cahoots to get refunds on our booking. She told me I got an influencer discount on my booking. She was gaslighting me into thinking like, oh, well, and you already got like an influencer deal and like you're paying less. I was like, no, again, here's like the influencer conversation. I was a full normal paying customer that saw their booking on Airbnb, that contacted them, that paid normal rates. Everyone I was referring was getting more of a discount than I was. Up until this point, I still had not even gotten my 8% back for Cassidy's booking. What do you mean I got an influencer deal? That is insane. She told me and Cassidy got such a deal, we wouldn't be able to get married anywhere else for that price. Like, and she kept saying, and you know it, you know you got such a deal with this venue. What do you mean? I saw your booking online. I booked it at the price you listed, and now I'm being gaslit and like shamed into the fact that like I got an affordable wedding because I paid the price you like. I could not wrap my mind around the conversation I was having. I'm like, there's no way in hell you guys have put me through this shit for the last year, and your responses tell me that I'm milking it, that I got an influencer deal, gaslighting me into thinking I got just the steal of a century because now all this work has been done to the venue that I didn't want done. You guys took out beds. I'm editing this, and I also need to mention something they kept consistently telling me and Cassidy was that we were getting such a deal because after the construction, the price was going to go up 3 times. It was going to be 3 times more expensive. I'm here to let you know, I checked the exact week after our wedding. The price has not changed. It has not changed at all. So we got gaslit into thinking we got such a deal and we're supposed to feel guilty about getting a deal. When there's no deal, they never increase the price. You guys ruined the area I was supposed to get married in. Like, what do you mean I am benefiting from this situation? That is insane. Mind you, we are weeks out from my wedding. She starts telling me how the owner is so fed up after Cassidy's experience that he is so ready to cancel weddings. Mind you, Cassidy did nothing wrong. They did her so dirty, and the fact that they were acting like they were so fed up after her wedding makes me triggered. And she's trying to be on my side. She's trying to keep him from canceling my wedding. But if she goes and shares with him how unhappy I am, that he's probably going to want to cancel my wedding. I'm like, you're threatening to cancel my wedding right now because I'm expressing frustration to you that the booking I made, the reservation I booked a year ago is now completely different. It is literally false advertising. I booked a place with X amount of beds and X amount of bedrooms, and that is no longer the case. I was not informed about it. Nobody communicated with me. And now because I'm expressing frustration to you over that, you're going to threaten to cancel the wedding. You're going to threaten me that the owner is so fed up with weddings that you're going to cancel it. And again, why is that my business? Why is it my business that you guys are so fed up with weddings? You guys booked my booking, and like now, like it's my fault that I'm having a wedding. Now like I'm an inconvenience to you guys because I'm having a wedding at your Airbnb that I paid for. Like, not wrap my mind around it. But she was basically saying like the owner didn't want to give me any money back, and that if he was going to give me any money back, he was going to want to cancel. And so basically I had to choose, like, am I going to keep my mouth shut and keep my booking, or am I going to really push for a refund and then he might cancel my wedding in 3 weeks? Like, literally those are the 2 options she gave me. Like, I swear to God, I wish I had video proof of this conversation. It was the most insane conversation I've ever had with a manager in my life. I can't even remember the rest because I blacked out in anger. I literally called my mom after. I texted Cassidy immediately after, and I was like, you're not going to believe this conversation I just had. And like, I literally had a pit in my stomach where I'm like, I am literally not allowed to say anything about my frustration with this situation because now I'm risking like my entire wedding. 3 weeks out, mind you. I'm already stressed. I'm in the middle of wedding planning, and now it's being thrown in my face that my wedding might be canceled. Finished the conversation by saying she was going to speak to the owners. We were going to get in a couple of cots, which I was fine with for children, but they still needed to bring in 2 more beds into one of the casitas because I was not going to have my dad sleep on an air mattress, okay? She was going to talk to the owners and confirm that. She said she'd end up giving me some type of small discount in return, which she could not give me an answer on. I literally called Tyler. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know, like, I'm trying to advocate for myself. I'm trying to like be assertive for once in my life. But the fact that like now it's being thrown in my face that they might cancel my wedding, that is literally 3 weeks out. Like, I felt like I was put in a position where I just needed to literally shut up and like put my head down and grind and get through the next 3 weeks of wedding planning and just show up to my wedding and hope that everything was okay and hope that they would actually follow through with the things they told me they were going to follow through with. So I get to our wedding. Everything is perfect. The 2 beds were there. The cots were there. They were actually extremely attentive the entire weekend. Like, there was a couple times we had questions or we needed something and like they sent maintenance out, they gave us supplies for something. Like, they really redeemed themselves, and I think they knew they were like in deep shit with me. And I was overall very, very impressed. Like, stress leading up to the wedding, 1 million out of 10, but the actual wedding weekend, which is what really matters, like everything was perfect. So I was very, very happy. And like me and Tyler have said multiple times, like we are very impressed that they like stuck to their promises and, you know, we got to get married, so thank God. I'll say the only annoying thing they did was on the actual wedding night, I guess the cops got called for noise complaints. It's in the middle of Palm Desert with a bunch of rich, white, old people. Okay, like let me just say that. I knew the cops were gonna get called for like a noise ordinance. Cop showed up at like 9:30 and he was like, oh, you guys are totally fine. Like the music isn't even that loud. Noise ordinance is 10 p.m. Like keep doing your thing. Just make sure you turn off the music at 10, which was our plan. Our DJ was only booked till 10 anyways. Ashley decides to show up to my wedding at 9:45 and I didn't know she was there. Thank God my maid of honor handled it and nobody told me what was going on, but apparently she started going at it with my maid of honor. It was a little tense. She was basically saying that our music was at concert level volume and we were risking their, what did she say? That we were putting their livelihood at risk. And basically she was so concerned that we were going to get them some like $20,000 noise fine, which doesn't make sense. The cops were just there. The cops didn't care. Anyways, my maid of honor came back, told the DJ like, hey, we need to turn down the music. And the DJ was like, I literally have 2 songs left. So we didn't turn down the music. And we continued our night like we were legally allowed to, and we turned it off right at 10 o'clock and everyone was happy. In terms of the refund situation, I went into that wedding weekend, they had not charged me yet. Like I still owed them $4,200. And at the very end of the wedding weekend, Sunday night, they charged me really late Sunday night. I think they charged me $2,900. I had owed them $4,200. So if you take into account the fact that I was supposed to get back about 8% from referring Cassidy to the venue, they gave me like a $500 discount. Now, obviously they gave Cassidy $1,900. They only gave me $500. I will admit she had a horrific experience compared to me. Okay, so like I feel like I'm very happy she got that amount of money back, and I don't feel like I have it in me to reach out to them and even go back and forth. Like they never confirmed with me the amount they were going to give back to me. They never said, is this okay? They never asked about the additional rentals I was bringing in, if the $500 is going to cover it. But honestly, I was at a point where I was like, this weekend went great. I just had the time of my life. I'm so checked out from attempting to communicate with them. I just wanted to leave it at that. So that is where we have left things. I also want to mention their Airbnb listing is still not updated to this day. To this day, they have not updated the description where it says how many beds they have. They are still to this day falsely advertising the amount of beds, the room arrangements, everything. They have old photos, they have new photos. Like if you were to go through as a new person trying to book, literally false advertising. Yeah, I don't know what the moral of the story is here because I freaking loved our wedding. It was the most incredible experience of my entire life, and everyone that went, our families, everyone was like, that was the best weekend of our entire life. Everyone was so depressed after, and like I can't imagine having a one-day wedding. Like the fact that we got 3 days with our family and friends in like a beautiful place, like it was incredible. On the other hand, the amount of stress I went through in the last year just to try to get my booking to happen is diabolical. Like that was an insane experience. I think if their communication would have been better, that would have like at least resolved some of the anxieties I had leading up to the wedding. I don't know. Would I suggest an Airbnb wedding? Proceed with caution, learn from my mistakes, definitely keep it on Airbnb, because this whole time, maybe I could have reached out to Airbnb support to be like, hey, this crazy shit is happening right now with my wedding venue, but I didn't have that option because I booked directly with them. So anyway, that's where I've been for the last year. That's everything I've been bottling up inside of me, and you have no idea how bad I've been wanting to talk about it, but I knew if there was even the slightest chance that they would see a video about me talking about the situation and they were already threatening to cancel my wedding, I couldn't. I would have never forgiven myself. I spoke too soon and jeopardized something, but we made it. I'm done. I'm clocking out. It was a journey.